In the G20 summit, the Honorable Prime Minister had actually very nicely propagated this theory of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And if world has to be in harmony, diminish the disparities, then it has to adapt to this path.
G20 में वसुधैव कुटुंबकम आ चुका है और अब हम इसके ऊपर एक विश्वास के साथ चर्चा कर सकते हैं.
United Nations has spectacularly failed us.
We need to decolonize our thought processes.
The concept which the Honorable Prime Minister has also put in place and India has to offer to the world is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam.
All policies that have to be adopted for the next world order from the Shastras, from the traditions.
This balance between spiritualism and geopolitics is very essential.
A spiritual sovereign, some of his ideas pertaining to technology or pertaining to the Middle Eastern crisis, they are absolutely enlightening.
Indian family system is being looked at as a model for the world to look after itself in these troubled times.
How can startups play a role in propagating of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam?
આપણને એક અવસર મળ્યો છે અહીંયા ભારતને વિશ્વગુરુ બનાવવા માટેનો.
If the world has to listen to India, India has to be strong.
This conclave actually tells us the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam and how we need to move forward.
Pranam sir. I am going to introduce to you Air Comrade Ranjan Mukherjee sir. He has held various important appointments in logistics in the Indian Air Force. He has adopted extremely well as officer on special duty to the Honorable Lieutenant Governor, Delhi, and in functioning of the civil administration in the government of NCT of Delhi. He has been commended twice by the Chief of the Air Staff and by the Air Officer Commanding in Chief and bestowed with a Vasist Seva Medal by the President. So what are the key takeaways from this discussion that the policymakers of India and the world at large needs to pay attention to?
You see, to create a harmonious and peaceful world, in the G20 summit, the Honorable Prime Minister had actually very nicely propagated this theory of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And if world has to be in harmony, if world has to diminish the disparities, then it has to adapt to this path. And India can become Vishwaguru in propagating this. But as I also said during the session, that charity begins at home.
Absolutely.
So we have to clear our disparities within. Otherwise, the world will not listen to us. If the world has to listen to India, India has to be strong. India has to will have to take care of our own disparities. That's why I urged Swamiji that his blessings and his directions are very much required, and to propagate what his thoughts are and to convert those into policies which the government also can adapt.
So how is the idea of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam coherent to the real-time incident of Russia, Ukraine and Israel-Palestine?
You see, I mentioned also very categorically in some of the recent television interviews that there are three blocks of powers who wants to control the new world order, and Guruji has spoken about one of them very elaborately in the exhibition. Also we saw that the WMD, the weapons of mass destruction, including the nuclear biological weapons. Now this bloc which manufactures the weapons, they are called the deep state. They are mainly in US and in the Western world. Now their intention, because they manufacture, so they want everywhere these problems to continue so that their sales could be there, they can earn profit. It's only Baap Barana Bhaiya Sabse Bada Rupaiya. That's the concept. Now this is destruction. That's why we call them weapon of mass destruction. So that is one block. Second block is Chinese hegemony. They want to create total superpower. They want to become by 100 years from their independence that they got in 1949. So 2049 is their aim, that the total world order, at least economic order, they will control. So they are going out everywhere, including small countries like, Bangladesh and the complete African Union. The master stroke of India was to include the African Union in the G20. But we have to counter these blocks, and the third block I talk about is of radical Islam. Now, whether it is Boko Haram or whether it is ISIS, whether it is Daesh or whether it is PFI in India, which we have recently banned, they are pure terrorists. So in Ukraine is little different, but Hamas versus Israel, very unequivocally PM Modi has said that our thoughts are with, our prayers are with the people, the victims of this terror attack, and we will not support the terror attack. So it's a very balancing act there. But so far as US-Ukraine is concerned, it's a different issue. It's actually again the new world order. The NATO wanted to, they're threatening Russia. So Russia had to do what they have done. Any other country also would have done the same thing. So the West should not propagate, should not push Ukraine, and there can be a very, very amicable solution as per, our yes, our people have done that. Our NSA, Mr. Ajit Doval, recently met Putin Sahab in Russia at the behest of the Honorable PM, and we have in a very, very balanced approach there. And while we have got very good relation with Russia, we have said that we don't support destructions because everything is being destroyed there. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is actually, if we can propagate in the right perspective, and I gave example of 1893 of Swami Vivekananda, who spoke in the World Conference in Chicago. Similarly, if this also can be propagated through Swamiji and the Maharaj Sahab, then it will be very, very good. So I look at it this way, and so far as terrorists are concerned, I have only one take, that they neither follow Gita, they neither follow Quran, they neither follow the Bible. They are terrorists, pure, final, and they have to be somehow controlled by everyone.
At the last edition, we had a different area of discussion. What was that particular thought or tangent which occupied your mind post the conclave, the previous conclave?